Parshas Mikeitz, the Sefer Yiturei Torah, mentions and brings a number of tremendous examples that Hanukkah always comes out on Parshas Mikeitz. And there's more than meets the eye here with the Parsha. Many Ramazim, his first one, which is rather, I thought, clever, is when the Peros Dakos, Basar, ate the Peros and the animals ate the Poros Habrios and the fat animals, so therefore we say Chanukah Nimsru Gibarim B'Yad Chaloshim. That I thought was a very interesting way of looking at it. Something which he does not mention, which came to my mind, is, and it's an idea that Rav Obam constantly brings up whenever he gives his shiur, is how do you connect the Parsha at the beginning to the end of the Parsha? The beginning of the Parsha is Mikesh Nasayim Shomer Para Choylem. It's the introduction to a momentous confrontation and meeting between two completely different and conflicting ideologies, Yosef and Paro. A tremendous confrontation, a tremendous pigisha. What is the end of the Parsha of Mikeitz? The end of the Parsha of Mikeitz, and I'll read you the pasuk, is Vayomer Chalilali Me'asay Zois Hoeshe Shenimtza Gavir Biyodai Hu Yeli Eved Va'atem Ta'alu L'Shalom El Avichem. The concept of shalom, but more importantly, Yosef is telling the brothers after they found the Govia in Binyamin's sack, go on home, I'll take care of Binyamin, and just send your father my regards. What is this Pegisha? What is this confrontation? And what is it setting up in Parshas Vayigash? Another momentous confrontation between Yehuda and Yosef, where Yehuda is standing up and on behalf of Binyamin to try to save him from this ruler of Mitzrayim. The confrontation between Yosef and his brothers reaches its climax at the end of this parsha and is resolved in Parshas Vayigash. What can we learn from this? What we're learning from this is that all confrontations in the world stem from a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Kadosh Baruch Hu sets these things up to our benefit if we know that they are His cause, His doing, and what we have to do to properly respond to them and to answer to them. What can we do in our lives, our people, every single individual of our lives? What can we do in terms of these meetings, these nisyonos that we have, as it were, in our own personal lives? And that's an interesting vart that I have here related to the Gerer Rebbe. We know that the Gerer Rebbe, one of them, I don't remember his name, died very young. I believe it was the middle Gerer Rebbe. And his brother or son said about him, he had a Richas Yamim. And they all asked him, what do you mean he had Richas Yamim? He died very young. He said, I did not say Arichas Shonim, I said Arichas Yamim. And that's an interesting vart. What do we mean by Arichas Yamim? And what do we mean by Arichas Shonim? So it says in the beginning of the Parsha, Vahi Mikeitz Shnosayim Yamim. That's generally translated as, and I'm having it right here from my famous Rav Shep's Chumash, and it was at the end of 2 full years. Because it has 2 words here, Shnosayim and Yamim. What do the words Shnosayim and Yamim usually mean? Shnosayim means years, and Yamim means days. If days are not years and years are not days, what can it mean? And in the name of Rav Yechiel Mimogalinza, a Chassidish Rebbe, in the name of his father, Zatzal, he says, one time my father said to me, my father's neshama went up to Shamayim, which is an interesting story to relate. I never said, my father went to Shamayim too, but after 120 years. And I'm not planning on going up to Shamayim either, although you never know. You never know. However, some people had this ability. With the most famous one, from my experience, Rav Levi Yitzchak was always in Shamayim. He spent more time in Shamayim than he spent down here. However, this Rebbe's father went up to Shamayim, and he saw an interesting phenomenon. They brought in a neshama of a person who was very young, and they gave him the name Zokain. And immediately after that, they brought up there a gentleman of very old years, Zokain Usvayomim. And they called him not only Nar, they even called him Yeled, and even called him Tinoik. So he asked them, I'm here in Olam HaEmes. How are you saying things that are not true? This is Olam HaEmes. that these things are not so. So they said to him, it is the truth. This So'ir was very, very little in his years, in very few years, when he was down in Olam Hazeh, but he did a lot in those little bit of time that he had. Every single day that he had was considered like a year. So he fulfilled his tafkid for every day of his life. This Zokain, even though he passed away after more than 80 years, he did and produced nothing downstairs. So he's only like a little baby. And that's what the Pasuk says. Vahi Mikeitz Osayim Yomim. Vahi is a lotion of tzara. It's tzara for an Adam if after all of his years he has nothing to show but a few days of accomplishment. Every day has to be a year, and not chas v'shalom every year to be a day which is lacking in accomplishments. We have to take the time that we've got here and have to utilize the time that we've got to its fullest, not just say, I'll get around to it. We have to put in the time. When we have time to do chesed, we should do chesed. If we have no time, we have special time on our hands, grab a sefer, grab a mishnayos, grab a tehillim, grab something that you can do, that you can fulfill your tafkid for each and every moment of your life. And if you do that, you'll be fulfilling Arichas Yomim and Shanim. Good Shabbos.